This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good morning, everyone. Can you see these impala all bunched together? It promises to be an exciting morning. The weather is gloomy, so jump on board, everyone, for your live safari through the African bush. Welcome to CGTN's Digital Safari, everyone. My name is Trishala and I've got Mpo on camera this morning. It's very gloomy, very cold. Well, not that cold. It's 13 degrees Celsius, 54 degrees Fahrenheit, and all the animals are huddling together. Can you see this? Now, this is a great indicator because the antelopes are huddling together, which means that maybe they're a little bit alert, and I have seen them picking up their heads. Now, remember that this is happening live, guys. You're watching CGTN's Digital Safari, and it's happening right here in the Sabi Sands in South Africa. Djuma Game Reserve is where I am and Steve is, and we've also got several locations elsewhere in South Africa, as well as up in the MAASAI Mara. And the fact that it is live means that you can chat to us. So use that hashtag CGTNWild, the hashtag Wild Earth, or at FC. And also, we haven't forgot our kiddies. You can use kids' questions at wildearth.tv. Now they're feeding, and some of them are relaxed, but every other one has their head up. But that's also herd mentality. Not everyone can have their head down at the same time, just how everyone cannot sleep at the same time. Everyone, or some portion of the herd, has to be alert. And they're feeding near a termite mound there. Termite mounds are really good at providing nutrients to the soil, and the vegetation around termite mounds are always the ones that get taken first. Well, we're going to see what else the bush has to offer. Hopefully we'll come up with some exciting stuff.
Jumbo, jumbo, hello everybody, and welcome to Kenya and in the MAASAI Game Reserve. And we've got some toppies that are just walking along the MAASAI Mara riverbank or the Mara River, and maybe they are planning to come this river this morning. That's the river I'm talking about. A very cold Mara today, this morning, 15 degrees Celsius or 59 degrees Fahrenheit. And remember, we are coming to you live. So should you have questions, you may send them through, and you can tweet using CGTN Wild, or you can also use hashtag Wild Earth. My name is David, and on camera this morning is Bungay. We are going to remain by the Mara River and just chance the toppies that we have just seen them running right now, if they are going to cross the river. There are so many animals that cross this river, not only the toppies, but also wildebeest, zebras, and many others. The highlight are always the wildebeest. Let's just wait and see what these toppies are going to do. Beautiful light this morning. So we're gonna just stay right here and keep watching, and who knows what will happen.
Welcome back, everybody. Now we've caught up with these hyenas. There's a bit of a dominance going on. This hyena that's walking towards the other one is definitely more dominant. You can see just the body language. Not sure who's who right now. I think that is Heart, far left, not Heart, that is June on the far left. She's one of the females in the clan that used to be quite high ranking until the previous matriarch got displaced. In hyena society, everybody, it's who's on top. It's a very, very close order of things. These things do change over time, and they're all bolstered by aggression, physicality. So we're hoping that these four, there are four of them, are going to find us our spotted cat, because the leopard that was calling was coming from this area. Yeah, they definitely did have some form of blood on the neck, which means that maybe they've already eaten whatever it is that the leopard in the area managed to catch. It happens quite often. Alarm calls or distress calls of animals when they get caught, they've proven and hypotheses on it. The distress call isn't one that's enough to make an animal let them go. Like a little bleating sound that a baby buffalo makes, or a duiker makes, or a warthog makes, squeals when it gets caught. That sound they've proven through many hypothesis testing. Sorry about the pole, we've got a roof on in case of the rain. They've proven that immediately predators within the vicinity are attracted to that distress bleating call, and them coming in to investigate is often enough to allow the predator to let go of that animal for a moment, and they can often make an escape. Isn't that a wonderful sound? You truly know you're in the African bush when you hear the call of the hyena. Emily, hyena are actually incredible hunters. They are normally pack hunters like a wild dog. They're not as efficient as wild dog, but they're very, very fit and athletic, and they're able to chase animals down. Let's move up to these two over here while I answer your question, Emily. Here, what we noticed in the Sabi Sands is we experience these hyenas stealing a lot of our leopard kills. That's what they do here. But up in the Mara, the hyenas, they are very well known for hunting. They actively hunt. We've had them physically on camera hunting, and it's what they do. Hyenas look for and selectively hunt the weakest individuals out of a herd, the youngest. I think we even had hyenas hunting buffalo calves in the Mara, which is quite an exceptional feat. But hyena, for the most part, are an apex predator. But in certain areas where lions are abundant, they drop down a little bit on the ladder. We see that in the Sabi Sands. The lions do not tolerate the hyena here at all. And so what we see is these hyena being more scavenger than hunter. But in all honesty, many, many times on safari when you find lions on a kill, many people, and hyenas lurking on the outskirts, many people assume that the lions made that kill. But to be fair, there's no greater scavenger than a lion, especially a male lion. So all of them are hunters, all of them are scavengers in their own right. There we go, that's that is ribbon over there. No, that's Corky. I can't remember. I am so bad with these hyenas these days. Anyway, we're going to stay with them for a moment longer, and hopefully they get to find us a spotted cat.
Hello and welcome, Tara. Look what we just found. Good morning, beautiful people. My name is Big James. Welcome to Masai Mara. In a live show right now. I'll take you on a live digital safari. Remember to talk to us on CGTN Wild or hashtag Wild Earth. And we're ready to take you on this live broadcast this morning. Today, I've started out with these two lions. Actually, it's a lion and a lioness. The one to the left is a big male, but he doesn't have a mane for some reason. It's quite unusual for lions in the Mara to lack manes. This could be a new gene because, for his size, he's almost 4 years, so he's fully grown. And there's something that has been happening with the female. She's been growling at him. I don't know for what reason, but maybe she's coming into season and he is staying very close to her, hoping to mate with her. She, you can tell, the crouch position means she's uncomfortable. Yeah, they had been walking on the road, I don't know for how long, and you can tell she's, breathing hard. So it means, she has been, quite a lot. The weather here in the Masai Mara, it's so beautiful. It's around 17 degrees Celsius. Yeah, 17 degrees Celsius, so, comfortable, and the light is just next to none. It's so, you can tell he's a young guy, no scratch marks. He doesn't have, scars of battle, but in the years to come, he will definitely, have them. I'm staying here to see what they're going to do. Now I'm hoping, they're going to leave the road and maybe we're going to find out exactly what they're up to.
Well, the best thing is just to watch and see what exactly they're going to do. My topics haven't done much, but they're going to do something. And what I would want them to do is for them to cross the river. Yesterday, when I was here, we had so many wildebeest and zebras and very few topics. But today, it's just the topics that are present. And as it warms up, you'll get the other animals will also come and try and cross the river. Now, the Mara River is one of the longest rivers we have in Masai Mara, which goes all the way to Serengeti, and it has different crossing points. We call it the river of life and sometimes the river of death, depending on what is happening. We've got some bird species also, which may use it as a river of life because they'll just dive in the water, have a drink, and sometimes they will make some nests on the riverbank. Now, this one here is called a bee eater, and this is the little bee eater. We've got many different bee eaters in East Africa, and this is one of my favorite bee eaters. A similar one to this is called the cinnamon-chested bee eater, but the little bee eaters will always be on the lower ground, small little bushes remaining close to the ground, whereas the cinnamon-chested bee eaters will be much higher. Now see how close she is to that croc. Without looking very carefully, you'll definitely miss that crocodile. Now, these crocodiles and many other carnivores in the Masai Mara will always wait and lay ambush to the migration or to the wildebeest of this particular area when you have so many hundreds of wildebeest and zebras trying to cross this river. And the migration is always the biggest highlight of the Masai Mara, and we'll have to learn a little bit more of the same.
From the southern plains of the Serengeti, over 1 million grazers move northwest through the western corridor, gathering along the banks of the Grumeti River. Once the chaos of the rut comes to an end, the herds gallop north once again. In time, more than 2 million animals amount to feast on the abundance the Mara has to offer. But the reward of the red oat grass does not come easy. The zebra vanguard is the first on the banks, taking the plunge into the treacherous Mara River in order to reach the untouched long grass plains on the other side. Not only must they face the turbulent waters, but also the crocodiles, gliding through the rapids in anticipation. Then comes the body of the migration, the thundering herds of the white-bearded wildebeest, with their bleats echoing through the landscape while in search for greener pastures. Hunger, so too are the lions of the Mara, who patrol the banks of the river. The risks are known, but the herds are determined. All must make the leap. Some will fall, but for the survivors, the lush greenery that awaits is bountiful. And then, as is nature's way, it comes the time to cross the river again as they continue to follow the life-giving storms and nourishing plains.
Yeah, welcome back. My lion and lioness are lying there. No much movement, just a few twitches and moves of the head, positions, and nothing much. I'm hoping that they're gonna move, and that's why I'm staying here. There is Justin, you ask if lions eat children. No, and for no reason. They will never find them. You ask, Justin, you ask if they eat humans. Okay, I will tell you, I will give you two answers. Naturally, sorry about this, it's gonna block my shot. Yeah, naturally, lions will not go for human beings directly because they have enough out there. But what happens is that when a lion gets really and wears out its canines, then human becomes easy prey. If they're very close to where there's human habitated areas, they will move into villages, and if they do get a chance, if they do that, then they will go for humans, but it's a rarely seen. Lions have enough to eat out there in the bush, and out here, man is not a direct source of.
Welcome back, everybody. Hello, Princess T. This is Tlalamba, everybody. She's very upset. Those three hyena went running towards her. I think she made a kill because the hyena are to her. If she looks to the right and faces forward, that is where the hyena are. We heard something. I remember I was telling you about distress calls. We heard something. And it's very important when a leopard, especially a leopard or a lone lioness, makes a kill, that they throttle an animal very quickly and they cut off the windpipe so it doesn't make that bleating sound. Just as you left us, the hyena all looked back towards where we've come to, and they all just started running. And now it seems as if she probably killed something. I don't know what it was. I heard the slightest of sounds, but my ears obviously aren't as good as a hyena. When they came through, and they found her, and now she's lost her meal. And she's looking quite disappointed with life, isn't she? Quite disappointed. She's looking towards where the hyenas are. She knows, though, at this stage, that if there's three hyena, there's no chance. Even two hyena for a female leopard, there's really no chance. Sometimes they can stand the ground against one hyena. She's upset. Did you see her chuffing there? She definitely made a kill. June, Tima, and Comet, thank you. Consultant detective. June was the one who was acting submissive and moved off. She was the one whooping. There's a fourth one here that we didn't get on camera. June left, and the other three came here. I think Tima was the one that was dominating June. And then I think the other one with the ear notch must have been Ribbit. But here she is, Princess T, looking. What's she going to do? Oh, she's chuffing. She's very upset. Animal life, yes, of course. A leopard could kill a hyena, but the chances of a hyena biting a leopard and causing severe injury are maximum. So a leopard can't afford to have an injury. It can't afford to have a leg bitten. Hyenas are at the crushing force. Let me move forward there for you. Oh, I'm going to go, Glenn, I'm actually going to turn all the way around and go and have a look at this interaction. She's going to go back. So a leopard can't afford to be attacked by a, oh, this is going to be very tricky. Can't afford to be attacked by a hyena. If it gets bitten on its foot, its leg, it could crush the bones, and that could lead to injury to the point where not only they can't hunt, they can't climb a tree. And if they can't climb a tree, a leopard is pretty much dead, because that's its survival strategy. Here she is. We're going to try and get her and these hyenas. She's going to see if she can try to salvage something. I don't think she's got a chance. Ah, oh, Princess Tlalamba, you are so beautiful. Off she runs there. Okay, she's just off to my right hand side. I'm just going to go here quickly. Oh, have the hyenas dragged the food then? They didn't make any noise though. Didn't make any of the feeding sounds the hyenas make. So maybe they didn't catch something that she had. We didn't actually see it. We heard it though. There she goes, directly in front of us. We heard it though. And when we got here, the hyenas are in the thickets just off to our left, and she was moving away from them. Sorry about my brake. And that little noise that she does is one of her being quite upset with the world. You see, she's still got that wild look of the evening. Okay, everybody, well, we're going to keep following her. Hopefully she doesn't lead us into the thickest of vegetation. And see where she heads to.
Well, welcome back. There seem to be some stick issues going on between the male and the female, and looks like the male has walked away and she's far to the right here. She's headed out into the bushes. It looks like the male is not very welcome. He might be new to the pride, and so he's been told off by this female, and because the female by herself, she's being a little bit submissive. She's still in the same position, but you can tell now she's much more relaxed. She's got her head up and she's looking around. By the looks, this looks like one of the owinos. Yeah, she's carefully assessing how far that male has walked. I don't know if she's going to decide to take a run for it, because she wasn't very comfortable. Let's have a look. Look at the, okay, looks like it. Looks like that's what she wanted. She wanted the male to, you know, leave, and then should continue on to find the rest of the pride. Definitely, now I know that the male was making her uncomfortable, and she was giving her an unwanted attention, and she wasn't very happy about it. Now she's just listening to hear if she can hear the rest of her pride. I'm going to stay with her and maybe follow her. She might end up, you know, showing me the rest of the pride.
Good morning and welcome all our viewers to and beyond NGALA. This morning we have 3 southern ground hornbill in the Timbavati riverbed, and they're busy looking for some food at the moment. They've spread out over the expanse of the riverbed, and as you can see, they walk with their head down looking for anything to turn up. Now this morning, myself, I'm Yapi, and behind the camera we have Gert, and we are currently busy with any signs of lions or leopard in this particular area. And we haven't heard anything all morning. It's been a pretty quiet morning. Usually we'll hear the lions by now, and yesterday the lions have crossed off the reserve, so we basically taking a shot in the dark and driving the riverbed to see if we might see something. I see that bird's just picked up something there. Starlight, I'm glad to hear you love the call of the southern ground hornbill. It is an amazing call to hear, and it's often one of the first calls you hear in the early morning. I think because of the weather, the last 2 days it's been a little bit overcast, cloudy and cool, and we haven't heard them call like they would normally do in the morning. But it is a very beautiful call indeed. It's quite a loud call, and you can hear it from far off. In fact, some often mistake it for the call of the lion at the distance. I can see every now and again they're digging for something in the sand, and it looks like they're looking for any small creatures that might be hiding in the dry sand. Even though we've had a little rain yesterday, there's not a lot of water in the river, and at that section where they're walking, the sand's quite thick. So they might be looking for insects, they might be looking for frogs. I know that there's a couple of small frogs that's especially active now after those first rains we've had, and maybe that's why they're moving around this area. You can see they spread out. They don't walk close to each other. That way they can cover a larger distance. Let's find something else again. No, it didn't look like there's anything over there. Now, there used to be water in this particular part, and I think we've been seeing quite a lot of large bird activity, predatory bird activity in this part. And even though there's no more water left here at the moment, some of the animals and smaller creatures still come to this area where the elephants have been digging in the riverbed for water. So there's small puddles around, and something like a bird will easily be able to sustain itself around that area. I've actually been walking in a zigzag motion across from the one side of the riverbed over to the other side. Rob, if I got your question correctly, do hornbills hunt? Yes, I've actually seen them actively hunt. In fact, here on NGALA a couple of years ago, somebody saw them kill a young impala, but they do use both sight and they use sound. They've got good hearing, and they definitely have very, very good eyesight. So I think they'll use both. All right, now we've just seen them walk off onto the southern bank of the Timbavati, so I think let's continue along and see if we pick up on any tracks.
Welcome back, guys. There has been a little bit of progress. The lioness moved about 60 feet from where she was originally, and for sure there was a reaction with the male. He had walked off to the right into the bushes or into the long grass, and without notice she just stood up and started walking towards the female. So definitely it's either the female is coming season or the male is unknown and he's trying to take over this lone female. Every now and then you can tell that she's gnarling, lifting her lips up. You know, that's showing that she's not very happy with a female. Yeah, it will be, you know, interesting to see what transpires in the next coming minutes, and that's why it's really an experience to me. I've seen this, but it will be nice to see. Yes, hello. Yeah, look at how beautiful he is. No scars at all. He's a young guy, and I'm sure he's showing signs of taking over or having his own. Yeah, he's showing signs of having his own pride. Definitely, yes, it's a male with a very scruffy, or actually no mane, but he's almost fully grown. Yeah, that posture, head, lying flat on the ground every now and then, laying down its ears and always looking at the male is a sign of some submission. See, she every now and then she's moving like she wants to pounce on the male. Just take a look at the behavior. Yeah, she's not happy at all. Yeah, that's a fully grown male. Yeah, it's only that he doesn't have a mane. Yeah, but he's fully grown. He's coming from behind, so I don't know what's the... Is that Hubert? You ask, which parts of the Mara am I in? I'm in the Mara Triangle. And if you're the old school, if you know the Mara, I'm in a place called Shieni. Just past Shieni is where I am. And just past that crossing is where I am, where the road follows the river and the other one goes straight. That's exactly where I am if you are, if you know the Mara. But this is the Mara Triangle of, the western side of the Mara, very close to Olololo escarpment. That's where I am. And if you're coming from the gate, it's only about 6 kilometers to where I am. Yeah, you can tell the female has turned and now it's facing the male, but with its head slightly hidden. Looks like she's ready for whatever the male might bring in. Remember, she might be submissive, but she can also stand her ground if she decides to. It does happen. Pound to pound with these two, they look almost the same size, but they usually do respect the males. But the males also know that the females can get very, very aggressive. This is rather very interesting, guys. I hope you're enjoying this. It's coming live. Yeah, talk to us on hashtag CGTN World, hashtag World Earth, or you can watch this on YouTube live stream. Yeah, this is your live safari. Look at her, she's peeping to see where the male is. I don't know if she's gonna stand up and take off, but let me wait and see.
Thanks, Isaac. Good luck with your lions. We lost Columba as soon as you left us, everybody. She went behind the bush and just like that vanished. It's what leopards do best here in Djuma, or all over the place, in fact. So these two impala are standing isolated, two of them, very alert, ears poised, looking into the thickets. We're hoping they're going to tell us where she is. She moved, when we last saw her, she was moving in the direction of these two impala, and then she vanished. So it's possible that on us trying to relocate on her, she went flat in the grass and might even be hidden somewhere here. The impala have got a very good ability to spot a leopard. I'm pretty good at spotting them too, but when they want to be invisible, they really, really can pull that off. So it's hard to say whether these two impala are looking as jumpy as they are because they know there's a leopard around, or if it's because of the wind. They're not chewing. A relaxed impala would be at least chewing the cud with a faraway look on their face. These two are looking in different directions. Very unsettling in the wind, if you can imagine predators lurking in the long grass, using the wind to their advantage. Must be a terrifying couple of days. It must be windy for a few days now already. Also, when we couldn't find her, we went to go see where those hyenas had gotten to, and we couldn't find them anywhere. And if there was some meat, they've either eaten it or dragged it away.
Welcome back, and we have a movement. She has stood up and looks like she is moving. How far, I don't know. Let's see what's the reaction of the male, but looks like she's walking comfortably without looking backwards. And when, I don't know, because I'm sure the female can hear the rasping on the grass. Yeah, and she might stand up and start following her. That was part of scent marking and making sure that she is known where she is. Usually they urinate, rub their hind legs onto that urine, so when walking they can leave a text message or an email, if you want to use that word, to tell fellow members of their pride that I'm headed towards this direction. And Dario, you're asking how often lions go into villages. It is very, very rare. I won't give you how often. I would say maybe once every 3 months they'll break into villages, and because some villages are built very close to some lions' territories, they are forced to go and investigate, make sure that their territory is still okay. So while doing this, they come across a village and smell of the cattle or dogs or sheep. They decide to take an advantage because it's an easy meal. Then they break in. But it's, I would say, once every 3 months in areas where they're close to humans. Yeah, definitely there is a standoff now. She turned around and the male stopped. So she's got some unwanted attention, and the male is trying to speak her words. She needs a knife or words as good as or sharp as knife can cut through butter. For her to be accepted by this female. She looks like she's a no-nonsense female, and she's not gonna go down easy. That is what we call a catwalk. I don't know if that's where we got our catwalk on the fashion show. I don't know where we got it, but this is the real catwalk. Yeah, remember that these two are not very friendly at the moment, so we're going to follow them, but let's watch them and see the reaction. I'm giving them as much distance as possible so that they can act as naturally as possible, and see what's the reaction when the male gets closer. Sometimes it pays off, the female gives in, but you can tell she's turning around and gnarling. Yeah, okay, are they gonna have a mouthful? Definitely she's not very happy. They don't look like they've eaten in the last few days, but so she's looking around at the same time. Okay, she sits, make sure she's watching the male. Let's see what the male is gonna do. Okay, I think he's gonna sit right close to her. Sometimes the distance receiving from where I am, you might think they're just close to each other, but they might be quite far apart. Okay, looks like it's very interesting what's going on here. Looks like either the female is coming into season and he wants to mate and he doesn't want to let go, or it's a male that is new and he's trying to take her over. And this is the real behavior. This is what really happens. Yeah, I'm gonna try and move closer, and I'm gonna share anything interesting that happens.
Well, sometimes the females will just play, hard to get, and the males have to work hard to keep following them. I have remained stationed here by the river, and what I'm enjoying currently are just the rapids of the Mara River. And I saw some 2 zebras from a distance which came to join the toppies. And I'm just hoping we'll get more of those zebras coming, because what determines sometimes the crossing is the number of the animals by the riverbank. But the times we see one animal just coming by herself, come running straight to the river and just cross, and then the times we'll get a few animals just hurrying up and building up until they build enough courage to cross. The same herd I had before of top is still there, and which are the zebras I'm talking about. There are 2 of them, and you can see how skittish sometimes they get. Anything small that happens by the riverbank or in the grass will just make them panic, because they're never sure it is. They always know the dangers they expect to face, and they have to be very, very careful. Now, the last 1 week, every afternoon, we have been getting a lot of rains in the MAASAI Mara and also upstream where this river comes from, or the source of this river. But there's 2 rocks, like that one you see there, that I'm able to see today that I wasn't seeing yesterday, which means the level have significantly dropped compared to the last 1 week. Short rains will always come in the month of September, which should be now going forward. But interestingly, we have been having some good rains every afternoon. And if the short rains will continue, if they're the ones we have currently, then the levels are expected to go higher. Now, all the rapids that we usually see every day when we come to this particular location, and they're not as loud as they have been. There are certain rocks, like you see towards the right, that we normally don't see if the levels are high, but you notice now those rocks are already out of the water, which means the level has gone slightly bit down. During the long rains, all those rocks you see, they are going all the way to the bank, where you see that elephant grass. That's how high the level of this river goes. All those rocks you see there are always covered during the long rains. And it's not difficult to see the wildebeest or the zebras deciding to cross from such a dangerous point. I hope you heard that zebra. That must be a stallion. They're just bellowing. And not sure what or who he was calling, because there are only 2, and to me that was some sort of communication. And either he can see others from a distance, and maybe they want to get the right numbers and build the courage to come and cross. You can see the panic. The zebra, because the idea to cross is there, they really want to, but when and where, it's always the challenge. In the background there, you see some animals with some horns in the grass. Those are the toppies, but that's a different herd, a different group from what we had before. She is choosing a place that is less deep, not as dangerous. I'll be waiting if more come join these 2 and see what happens.
Welcome back. There was a little progress. The female moved further and the male proceeded to follow her, and she wasn't very excited. She growled, and so the male turned to the left and he's walked quite a long ways away, and we can't see her anymore. So we just have the female with us, and she's looking down into the plains. There is some nice, tasting looking toppy down there, and that's what she's looking for, but they're quite a long ways away. I'm sure she's saying, I wish they were much closer, and then she would, make a kill. She's a full nest, and from where she is, I think she's part of the Owino pride. Yeah, that's where she is. She's very separated from the rest, and we don't know where they are. We're going to be looking for them, but because I have found her, I'm hoping that once Gremlin General, interesting name. You ask, what size can a lioness hunt by herself? Well, this is a very strong cat. She can bring down a fully grown, zebra, wildebeest, toppy, half-grown, buffalo. This is a cat that can kill quite a lot of big animals. I would say, from a young, medium-sized eland, toppy, zebra, wildebeest, all those she will bring down with ease. Warthogs, those are the animals she can kill. Yeah, she weighs around 100 kilos, but she's got a power of about 3 lionesses, so she can kill a zebra easily. Where she is, it's a very good vantage point. She can look down onto the plains and spot anything moving in the grass. Remember, their eyesight is amazing. She can see long ways away. Sometimes I explain to everybody that, if you can see at the end of a football pitch, multiply that by 10, that's how good their eyesight is. And where she is, after looking and there's nothing, usually they just lie flat and pass time, rest, rejuvenate for even half an hour. Then they might move or just stand up and, using the same vantage point, have a look again. They know through experience that animals are always moving, so if she lies down and wakes up 10 minutes later, there might be something on the big screen that she's been looking for, to look for something. So like right now, you can tell she's got her eyes closed, she's dozing off, so she's getting relaxed. She has looked down there, and I'm sure she's picked up that apart from the talk, there's nothing else, and so she'd rather waste no more energy but just rest, so that when she wakes up, if there is something, she can focus on it. Remember, this is live. It's coming from Masai Mara, East Africa, Kenya. Yes, and we're looking at one of the Owino lionesses. Yeah, the weather is beautiful here. It's the temperature is, I cannot complain, and it's just what everybody wants, just beautiful, beautiful weather. She's looking where the male lion went, and I don't know what decision she's gonna make. I don't know what she hears, but she looks like she's confirming that the male is gone. Gonna move on or look for something to eat. Yeah, for me, this is rather very interesting what's going on. So I'm gonna stick with her. Hopefully, we can unfold the mystery of what transpires.
Well, from where I am and where those lions are, Isaac, it's quite a distance, and I haven't seen that particular pride coming to lay ambush by the river like other lions would do. Now, where I am, there's a particular pride that we call the Paris pride that will always hunt by the river, and they have been known to take advantage of the migration especially. We are getting lucky with the moment because we are seeing more of the zebras coming down. We initially started with 2, and you remember we had that stallion that was calling, and I guess correct. He would have been calling for the rest of them to come close. And just have a look at that. We have a bigger number of them coming towards the river. So country would like to know if the crocodiles will go swimming to where the rapids are. I will say not really, not crocodiles that I've seen in that particular area. What happens is the rapids are quite fast, and because they do not want to be maybe washed away by the rapids, it's very unusual for them to go in that particular area. Not even the hippos, because when you look at the rapids carefully, which I shall be showing you much later, there are too many rocks there, and definitely that will be very uncomfortable for any animal that could be in the water, be it hippos, be it the crocodiles. Nobody will go to where the rapids are. Now, it's toppy there, or toppies rather, and zebras heading in the right direction. Of course, we got other tourists there waiting to see if these animals are going to cross. They are on the other side of the bank of the river, while we are on the other side. Slowly, majestically walking, making the decisions, sometimes walking so close to the river, making a U-turn. But to me, what determines the crossing is the number. If they build so much, chances are they are going to cross, and patience is key here, because that's exactly what I'm going to do waiting.
Well, I am hoping that Ribbon, who has taken some of Tlalamba's kill, who've been part of the party that did, may come back to the den. So I'm standing by, close by, but I can't actually see it, just to have a look about whether she'd come along or not. But I did spot this wonderful combretum that is just starting to kind of push out these new leaves. How gorgeous is that? And look at the green, the color, the shade of the green compared to these. Oh, look, there's a giraffe in the background walking through. What? How cool is that? That was pretty cool, guys. That just tickled, just tickled my fancy. That was so cool. It's quite far away, the giraffe, but oh, that was magic. That was magic. That's how the bush works. You want to show something little and just, you know, a sign that spring is coming, even though it's frigid at the moment, I must admit. And you have a marvelous big animal walk through. Now, what I was saying about these combretums is I'm so glad to see them budding and these leaves bursting through. This one looks like a variable bush willow or a large fruit. It's a little bit difficult to tell, especially when there's little tiny leaves like that. And I've been seeing it quite a bit, and I've been meaning to actually show it to you, just how gorgeous the bush is starting to get. These little specks of green, and it's such a different shade of green because it's this bright brand new leaf. It's stunning. Well, those giraffe are not very close, but I think that we might be able to still be able to monitor if Ribbon comes back with the carcass to the den and see them. So I'm going to just give it another minute at this junction to check if she comes through, and then I'm going to move on to those giraffe.
Morning, everybody. It is another beautiful morning here in the Kalahari. Still a bit cold, so I hope that you guys are under the blankets or in a warm office or wherever you might be that you are warm. We've got some beautiful oryx here. I'll quickly have a look. I know it's a little bit behind the trees right now, but she's going to come back out in the open. But have a look at how long these horns are. So That's one of our antelope species that we have here where both male and female have the horns. Whereas particularly with the bucks, you'll find that the females have slightly longer horns, thinner and longer horns, whereas the males will have a bit of a thicker base with thicker horns but much shorter. You'll find that the female's horns can easily go over 40 inches, whereas a male not so much. And the reason for that is just the males fight more with one another. So because of that, they have to have stronger and more sturdy horns so that it doesn't break that often. However, their fights are quite vicious. So with that being the case, you quite often find a male missing at least one of its horns or half of it. But yeah, just a beautiful, beautiful individual, this one. And have a look at that stunning face. It's almost like she's got a mask on. And that just adds to what we spoke about yesterday. You know, not only is she stunningly beautiful, but that black and white on the face will also help with their thermoregulating. Just like with zebras, where the black stripes will attract sunlight and the white ones will reflect it. You'll find the same thing happens with the oryx, and because of that, you know, with them having that rita mirabilis, that spiderweb system in their nose to cool down, the black and white, you know, attracting and reflecting sunlight will also help a little bit of microturbulence to face, just to cool that down even more so. So yeah, just beautiful, beautiful morning with beautiful oryx, and that's the way you want to start the day. Our plan for this morning also, guys, is just so that you know, we are going to go out looking for one of the more shyer animals in the reserve, bat-eared foxes. They're just the cutest things when you see them. If we do find them this morning, you just want to steal them and cuddle them, I promise you. They are beautiful animals. So that's our mission for the morning, but obviously you never know what the bush has to offer, so whatever we find, we're going to show you. And this has been a pretty good start. Okay, so Ben had a good question. What sort of social structure do oryx have? And it's very much the same as with almost like zebra, where you find a type of a harem system. So typically you'll find a group of females with one male, and then also you'll see that that male will try and keep that females with them for as long as possible. They'll protect and want to mate with those females for as long as they can. You'll also find sometimes younger ones split off, and they might form new groups of female. So almost very much like an impala system then, for that matter. However, quite often you'll find these large groups of males, the bachelor herds, which is either males that are still too young or not strong enough anymore, so too old to have a group of females to themselves. And they didn't just stick together to help each other stay alive. You do also, it's not uncommon to find a male all by himself. You know, it might be a male that just left the bachelor group because he feels like he's strong enough now to start having females of his own, and he's just not won over a group of females yet, or started collecting females of his own yet. But yes, typical social structure of the oryx is a male with a couple of females, and that is how you. It's also, guys, just remember, in the Kalahari you don't find vast numbers of, maybe just with the eland. It's just the oryx. You'll find typically in a group of maximum about 20, one male and a couple of females with their young.
Welcome back, and with the lone Owino girl. The male is nowhere in sight. She has been looking around, same behavior, and every now and then taking a very deep puff. Then, you know, her head and looking around. She keeps looking to the direction of where the male lion disappeared to. I'm not sure what kind of language they're talking, because definitely looks like they have a small thank you for your question.